Hi, welcome to Sassy FND Life. Today I'm going to be talking you through the onset of my FND. For a little bit of backstory, I've had issues with my neck since I was about 12. Generally it's because it locks up in my sleep, all the muscles spasm in my sleep and I wake up and then I can't move, I can't sit up, I have to wait for someone to come and help me just sit up out of bed. In December 2018, I was already having the usual issues with my neck, and we were meant to be going to a family gathering, and then I went up for a wash, I was brushing my teeth, and I felt all of the muscles spasm in my neck and my shoulders. And usually, as I said before, it happens in my sleep, so it was the first time I'd actually felt the pain that caused in my neck. My muscles felt red hot. I tried to stretch it out and move against it to stop it from happening further, but it didn't work. I'd never experienced pain like that before in my life, and I made it downstairs somehow, and instantly Mum rang 111 and an ambulance was sent out. When the paramedics arrived, I was so overwhelmed by the pain that was already in my body, I hadn't realised what else was actually going on. And when I was trying to talk to them, I couldn't get my words out. Everything was slurred or I was stuttering. And then the paramedics touched my foot and I couldn't feel anything. And it was like immediate panic because suddenly I had absolutely no feeling in my feet. So they took me off to hospital and I had an MRI done of my spine just to make sure nothing was hitting the spinal cord. And although I had a few disc protrusions in my neck and my lower back, it was just in the spinal fluid. It wasn't actually touching the cord, so they didn't think that was what was causing the numbness and all of the pain. So I was sent home with plenty of pain relief and an appointment to see a spinal specialist in a couple of weeks' time. And then at this point, I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I couldn't just everything that I had been doing the day before, I could no longer do. I needed a lot of help, and if someone wasn't there taking my weight for me and holding me up, I would just fall over. Every time I took a step on my left leg, my knee would either buckle or it would snap backwards, my hip would just fall to the left, and my ankle would roll over to the point my ankle was actually almost touching the floor every time I took a step. The spinal appointment came round and she did all the usual tests of like following the finger, touching your nose and then her finger, and I was quite slow but I could do it. And then she said she'd put me through for an urgent MRI of my brain. December slowly rolled into January. I couldn't do anything independently. It was like someone had ripped my life away as I knew it and I didn't recognise myself anymore. The only thing I could think about was when the next lot of pain relief was. In the middle of January, I was back in A&E with unbearable pain. It was then that I was admitted to hospital for 2 weeks. After a couple more MRIs and a lumbar puncture, I got the FND diagnosis, and I was given the explanation that I gave to you in my previous video and a website for more information. The physio at the hospital, she did work incredibly hard with me and she got me standing independently and walking with a stick just a short distance, but it was better than nothing. And it did take a few months to figure out that actually the stick wasn't the best equipment for me because I kept falling over. It wasn't very supportive and it was putting more pressure on my back, which was causing those disc protrusions to ache a little bit more. So I went on to use a walker and my wheelchair, but I will explain that more in a different video about the equipment that I use and how it's helped me. Finally, I was discharged from the hospital with my diagnosis, but not knowing what to do with it, and I had no further treatment plan at the time. There's been so many more ups and downs and different symptoms developing since I got sent home from the hospital, so that actual diagnosis and coming home was just the start of a really long fight. I'm at the stage now where I'm receiving the correct physio from a neurophysio. I've had many CBT sessions and I'm still waiting for further treatment from London Hospital. It is far from over and I really don't know what tomorrow, next week, next month or even next year will hold for me. But I do understand my disorder. I understand my symptoms and the things that help, although admittedly it can still be pretty puzzling at times. But I do think that level of understanding of the disorder is actually key to starting the recovery journey. Everyone's story of functional neurological disorder is different, and while I don't think you can ever truly pinpoint why it happened, I do believe for me that level of pain that I felt is one of the main reasons why I developed it. In the next series of videos, I want to tell you a little bit more about my symptoms individually. I don't want to do it in just one big video because it's quite a lot of information to take in at one time. And I'll probably start with the leg weakness since that is my main issue. As you can probably tell by the developing rash on my neck, that this is quite a hard thing for me to actually talk about, but it is one of the main reasons why I started this channel. So thank you for listening today and joining me on this journey.